feed myself. And for those few months, I struggled a lot. Uh, got into drinking and did drugs and was involved in gangs and it was crazy. It was crazy. So I took it upon myself after everything that I've gone through to educate our population from adults to youth on some of the things that you need to be aware of when you're here in society, when you're getting out there. Okay? Um, so $1.2 million that I have to raise every year through grants, and I mentioned grants because I never was very good at the English language. I came in '83 from Puerto Rico and couldn't quite adapt myself to the English language. And up to date, I still have problems writing stuff where I have to have other people edit it for me. And nowadays, writing communication is so important. From a grant writer to working in HR to being an executive director. If you do not have good English grammar, you perhaps will potentially have given away a job that you really needed or wanted. Because there are jobs that they require for you to do an essay. I did a 5-page essay on how do I improve the Maywood community when I went to work for them as a housing counselor. And I had to have somebody look at my 5-page essay to make sure that I did it right because sometimes my English comes out as Spanish and so I put the sentence in the wrong way and I have to rephrase it so that I don't sound like I'm retarded. And so that's why it's very good that you pay attention. A lot of jobs, reporters, anchors, it requires good writing, good English. You have to focus on that. And math, right? I don't like math. I was doing this earlier, and I'm with my phone in a calculator, and I got a youth right there who's doing the math on his own in his head, and I'm like, I'm embarrassed. But never math was never my forte, so I'm okay. I'm all over it. Right? The reason I tell you this is because there's one thing that resonated across the homeless population throughout that I served. What was that one thing? A lot of you may think, what? What? What was the one thing that resonated? The same thing that was plaguing our homeless population, most of them. What was it? What? The lack of education. They could not find a job to earn enough money to make it out here because they did not have an education. Bottom line. Yes, a lot of people say, well, homelessness is caused by substance abuse. Homelessness is caused by mental health. No, actually not. Those are the result of you having to go through some obstacles in life and not being able to make it. That can lead to drugs or it can lead to mental health, right? So it's very simple. Right now, we don't worry about it. My son tells me that he doesn't need to know the value of money, that's my job, his dad, because he's still young. He'll work on that later on, right? So I oftentimes take him with me to some of these talks so that at least if he doesn't want to listen from me, because he doesn't, he just goes like this. And he acts like he's falling asleep when I'm talking to him. He'll literally ask me a question, and I get to explain it to him, and he goes, and falls asleep, standing up. And I'm like, why you do that to me? He said, because all I needed was a simple answer. I didn't need you to go through all molecules and the clouds and the sun came out through there. And I go a little bit, I go too far explaining stuff. But nowadays as an adult or as you're moving into adulthood and you're learning about your career skills, your job placement skills, you have to think about you're going to need to earn income to be able to make it as an adult. You can't live off your parents, and you need to understand what the cost of living is, and you need to understand what the comparison to a college degree is to the cost of living, because that's how you're going to really value the importance of having the right job so you can have the right things that you want. And you know that, yeah, I want to have a lot of nice things, and I know that I have to work, but you have not conceptualized what that looks like with numbers. And I want you to understand that because this is what your parents are going through. This is what our homeless population is going through in their way. And this is what you're going to be facing. And if you prepare yourself ahead of time, you're going to be able to know how to navigate the system very well. And let me take you right here to what a 2-bedroom apartment will cost you as an adult. Now, because a few years from now, because the cost of living keeps going up, it may be $1,400, it may be $1,600. If you have an apartment, you need to pay for light, gas, and water, and that's about $600. You definitely want your phone and your Xfinity cable to watch HBO, so that's going to be about $300. With that comes food. You gotta eat. That's going to be about $400. You want a car, and I'm not going to go out of my way and say we want a Mercedes-Benz because that's unrealistic right now. We want a decent car, and you finance the car with the company, and you're going to pay $400 a month. But mind you, when you finance with the company, about $150 goes towards interest. So you're actually going to be paying like $250 towards the actual amount of loan that you have, which means that you're going to be paying that car for a while. 5 to 7 years. And with the car comes gasoline and insurance. That's about $400. So a month, you need to be bringing in to your pocket a month $3,300. You got to get a job that pays you $3,300 a month. Or, I'm not even going to do the math. I was going to break that in two. That means that you need to bring in $39,600 a year, right? If you're going to want a job that pays $39,600 a year, you're more than likely going to have to go all the way to a master's degree for entry level. You're going to have to go all the way to a master's degree. Let me give you the reverse. Say, I'm not for college. I don't want to do college. I'm just going to get my high school diploma or GED. Minimum wage $8.50. All you're going to be earning is $17,600. Now think about this, guys. This is the essentials, and this is what you need to bring in with salary. Now compare that to what you're gonna get. That's about half. That's half. You gave up half of your income. You're not gonna be able to afford this. You're gonna have to get a studio or get a roommate. You're gonna be driving DV bikes because you're not gonna be able to afford a car and pay the gas and pay the insurance. That's the reality of our society right now. We don't think about it because, mom and dad buys us this stuff. They put the food in the refrigerator. We wake up one morning, oh my God, there's food. Brownies, honey buns, vegetables, right? But that's the reality, right? So you got to go for that master's degree. Now, let me give you something else on top of that. Right now, it takes $14,000 to raise a child per year. So imagine if you had a child and you're earning $39,600, but you got to take away out of there $14,000 for your child. How much does that give you? You cut in half of your salary for this right here. Again, going back to, you're not going to be able to afford the essentials. Because now you have $14,000 coming out of your check for your child. And if you have another child, that's double. $28,000. The more kids you have, the more money you're going to be spending. And I'm sure your parents will agree with me when they buy you new Jordans. They pay for your school loans. They take you to the mall and give you money for clothes, right? This is the reality, guys. But this is attainable. And I'm going to tell you why is it attainable. Although, I've had a successful career, I've had some tremendous jobs and some very good salaries. I've also made some mistakes in life and ended up doing 12 years in prison. So at the age of 19, I was involved in a gang war where a person I knew shot and killed a rival gang member, and because I was there, I was sentenced. I was charged with a murder case, and I was sentenced to 35 years. In 97, it dropped to 26 years. I had to do half of it, which is 13 years. I got 3 months to the time, and I did 12 years and 9 months in prison. Maximum security. And how did I survive that? Not only how did I survive that, but how did I come out here with all this stuff that we're hearing, that people come out of prison and they don't make it? How do I come out of here and become so successful and become a professional and become business savvy? Education. While I was in there, I got an associate's degree in energy technology. I got an associate's degree in general studies. I got a certificate of completion on literacy tutor program. Shit, I even got a certificate to know how to be a step parent. Because at the age of 19, I didn't have no kids. I wasn't with nobody. And I knew that at the age of 32, when I'm released, I might end up with a female that has a child or two. And I want to be a good stepfather to those kids. A role model that I didn't have. Because my stepfather wasn't a role model. My father wasn't here. So I was looking ahead. Think about it. Coming in on a brand new sentence to do 12 years, 13 years, I'm already thinking about when I get out, what I need to do to stay out. And I'm making those things happening while I'm in there. And it wasn't easy because there was fights and there was lockdowns and it was just chaos all the time. So you have to know how to. And remember, in the streets you're free to go anywhere you want. Now I'm put inside an institution behind four walls with over 2,000 people, almost all of them involving gangs in one way or another, and everybody looking at each other crazy, and at any minute, you could get killed. At any minute, something bad can happen to you. And you have to survive. How did I survive? I enrolled in school. That was my safe haven. That's how I stayed out of the cell house. That's how I stayed out of the environments where there was fight and issues and bad things. I stayed safe in school. I went to school throughout my whole sentence. Every opportunity I got, I took it to get out of the cell house and go to a safe environment and learn something. Because it would keep me out of trouble, and eventually I will be able to come out here and show people, look, yes, I made a mistake, but look at everything good I've done. I'm not a bad person. And it has helped me tremendously to the point where I've been able to navigate the system and create this methodology that will help any of you if you follow it in becoming successful out here and in making the right decisions. First thing you need to know is we make decisions based on information we have available. If we don't inform ourselves, we're not going to be able to make the right decision, right? I didn't know that standing next to this guy when he shot and killed another one would have got me all this time. If I would have known that, I would have been like, and I would have left. I would not been there, right? I used to tell kids before, do you know that peanut butter has rat hairs in it? Did you guys do that? Did you know that blueberries have a certain amount of insects, thorax, legs, in it when they sell it to you in the store that is approved by the FDA? You didn't know that? Really? Well, yeah. But now that you know that, are you gonna go get a peanut butter sandwich after this? Hell yeah. It's gonna be all right. But you know now. You're not deceived. You know now that this type of thing happened. And, it doesn't hurt us. Obviously, we're still alive. I created a motto. It's called the 4 Pillars of Professional Development Success. Please write that down. The 4 Pillars of Professional Development Success. The 4 Pillars of Professional Development Success. Now guys, I'm not telling you that you should not have fun. I'm not telling you that. I'm nobody to tell you that you should not have fun. I'm just telling you that if you integrate into your lifestyle these 4 pillars right here that I'm about to give you, you're going to have a successful transition into adulthood and careerhood. Because you don't want to go to a 9 to 5, because that's boring. You want to go to a job that you enjoy what you're doing, and that makes you do it so well, it opens up the door for upward mobility. You know what upward mobility is? What is it? That's right, when you get promotions. Exactly. And you get promotions, that means more what? Money. That means better car. Means a house with a yard, right? And that's what you want, right? So the first one, what have I been talking? The first pillar, guys. What have I been talking about that saved my life and definitely impacted positively my career? Education. That's the first pillar. Education. Guys, information highway is the now. You need to educate yourself. Again, I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm saying you need to put that time and invest in yourself with a good education. Whatever it is that you're going to study, whatever it is that you're good at, do it. You know, I was successful in my career because I went for a bachelor's in psychology, and that helped me implement psychological methodologies to develop programs to help our homeless population. So the career training program that we developed was specifically tailored for somebody that is homeless, which means low education, underserved background, which comprehension levels may have been affected. So I had to be very tailored on that, right? And that helped me through to my master's in training and development to allow me to apply training for not only the homeless population, but for my staff, because my staff needs professional development training all the time. I did a YouTube video on how to be an effective case manager. And I showed that to my staff. And then I evaluated, what did you learn from it? That's exactly what you guys are doing here in school. You're going to continue to be doing stuff like this out there in the career world. So why not learn it well and do it well so that when you do it out there, you come above everybody else as the champ, as the one that I want to promote. Second pillar, volunteerism. What I'm doing right now is volunteering. I'm not getting paid for this. But guess what this does for me? This allows me to go home and pull out my resume and put in there, on such day, I volunteered at Elgin High School to talk to the kids about the 4 pillars of professional development success. And when I go in front of an employer for a job, and I'm fighting 100 people that have submitted resumes, and all 100 of them have the same credentials that I have, some of them even with a little bit more experience than I have, but what sets me apart is that I have volunteered. That means that I'm showing compassion, I care, I'm involved in community activities, and a lot of employers want that. They don't want robots, they want people that feel, that think, that understand, that are involved. Every year, my whole family gets together, we go to the Ronald McDonald House, where they got all those families that stay there, where the kids got cancer and stuff like that, and we prepare a 3-course meal for them. We go as a family around my birthday. My kids come with me too. And what do you think I do with them? I already got a resume for my kid. My kid's 15 years old. He's done so much volunteering. He's been to ceasefire marches with me. He's been to college tours with me where I do presentations on pathway to college. And all of that is in a piece of paper to show that he's involved, that he's volunteering, and that's gonna help him when getting his first job. My oldest 17-year-old just started working this year at Southwest Airlines in the HR department because they saw all the volunteer opportunities that he has done with us, and we had that on paper and submitted it with documentation from the places that attest that they did do this volunteer experience. So that will help you. And I'm not telling you have to volunteer every day, every month. I'm telling you once in a while. Every 6 months, once a year, but do something. And you guys gotta do community service in school, right? Right? So you already have to do it in school. I know Huffman State has a Harper College, Harper Scholarship Promise. If you do so many volunteer opportunities, community service, if you will, you get that scholarship to go to Harper College. So that's the second one, volunteerism. Okay, that's very important. There's plenty of nonprofits in the area. All you gotta do is get on the website, look for the volunteer coordinator or the communications person, send an email, make a phone call with one question. I would like to volunteer. What should I do? Or what is the process? That's simple. That's simple. You know, before I got locked up, I knew I needed to go to college and nobody told me how. What do I do? Yes.
Do you feel like you'll be who you are today without
I am who I am today because I went through those things.
So do you think like you would still be getting over that?
Not like this. You know, I'm a good person by heart, anyways. But I don't know if I will be as driven to try to help so many people, right? That's like my way of giving back, right? Because I was there. Somebody's guy was there. That was a bad thing. And in some ways, I feel responsible for that. So I have to do my part, right? So the third pillar is mentorship. Write it down. Mentorship. So I have mentors and I mentor people. I have about 3 or 4 people that I mentor, colleagues, professionals that seek my advice at times when they're having trouble at work, they're having some conflict at work, when they want to transition from one career to the other one, when they want me to even look at their resumes. I'm there for them. Just like I have about 3 mentors myself. One of them is an old white guy who has a lot of money, who believed in me so much that paid his school $60,000 towards my college. I don't know where this guy is not related to me. He gave $60,000 to Roosevelt University to pay for my school. And up to this day, met him in 2006, up to this day, we're still very good friends. We meet once a month for coffee. I talk a little bit about what I'm going through. He tells me what's going on in the market. He's an investment firm. Great person who helps out a lot of people out there. So you want to mentor and you want to be mentee, right? So you could do that with your friends here, or you could go mentor younger kids. You could go to a grammar school and volunteer and mentor at the same time, and that's so powerful. You're volunteering to mentor kids, or you could go through a nonprofit that is helping youth that are probably involved in the justice system and try to be a mentor for those youth, or some sort of role model. I didn't have a role model, so that's why I want to be a role model now, right? Because I believe it helps. The last pillar is civic engagement. Civic engagement. Now, oftentimes we don't become aware of things because we don't take that first step to find out about them, right? So how do you become civically engaged? Well, you want to have a voice in the community. You want to have a voice in addressing an issue that's happening around you, right? There's so many things going around here today, right? Immigration issue. There's violence, there's substance abuse, there's homelessness, there's victims of domestic violence, you know? So if you get involved in community groups, task forces that are addressing this by meeting and putting together plans and programs to address these issues, that's how you're civically engaged. You're also civically engaged when you understand your government, right? So I was telling a former class, one of the kids that, so imagine like, if you and I go to the mayor of Elgin and to address the same thing, I tell the mayor, hey, I'm having issues in this corner, and you tell the mayor the same thing, I'm having issues in this corner, who do you think he's gonna listen to? You. You guys don't know the power of your voice, the power that you hold in society. The mayor is going to listen to you because you are the next voter that could potentially be keeping him out from being voted again. Because if he comes across in the media as having been talked to by a youth and he didn't do nothing about it, he's going to lose his post next election. That's how much power you guys have. So learn who your government officials are. You know, right now I am a auxiliary commissioner for the Development Commission of Hanover Park. What the hell is that, right? I didn't even know what the hell is that. But I was talking to the event manager of Hanover Park, doing a one-on-one, connecting, mentoring, And she told me about this opportunity, and I'm like, well, how do you apply for that? And there's an application, it's at town hall, just go over there and apply. So I went ahead and applied to volunteer for that development commission. I provided my resume with that application. The mayor called me himself and said, hey, I seen your application, you have an impressive background, I would like for you to join us. Next meeting came about, the board voted me in as an auxiliary commissioner. So what I do there is, every time a business is trying to come into Hanover Park, there has to be certain things in place for that to happen. Number one, the community has to have a voice whether this business should come in or not. So they have to hold public meetings. Number two, it needs to address zoning. So areas are put together by zones. Residential zones can only do housing, they cannot do businesses. Commercial zones, they can only do business, not housing. And you have to figure out where the property that they're trying to go to, is it feasible, does it need an environmental testing? And this group does all of that determination before they can approve a business from coming into Hanover Park. Who would ever known that process actually happened? I never knew, but now I know. And I am involved civically where I have a voice, whether a business should be coming in and what type of business should be coming in, right? And that's important, right? So, those four things. If you just follow those four things as you go through your high school career, college career, and then on to career at all, I believe that you're gonna find a lot of successes, you're gonna earn a lot of money, and you're gonna be able to live well owning your own home. And it doesn't have to take the fun away from life, right? You still have your time to do those things that you like to do. Remember, when you get to college, just like you gotta do community service here, when you get to college, continue to do stuff like that. Become part of a sorority or a fraternity. Employers want to see that you're involved in a social club, or you're involved in sports, right? That you're doing something. I've seen kids that go into college, they do 4 years, get their bachelor's, never work, never were involved, and then they come at me and say, can you help me find a job? And I said, let me see your resume, and the resume is about this big in words. A whole paper with just this much stuff, because they never did anything. Didn't I tell you that my kid's already building a resume? Well, because when he finishes his 4 years, I want his resume to be like mine, 6 to 8 pages. I don't put it up, of course, because they don't want to see that much, but, but that's what you want. You want content, good, positive, profile content about you as you navigate the system. And why I think it works? Because you're looking at a guy with a background who has engaged in a professional environment, developed a career, and so many aspirations to do so much more out there in doing good for people and in doing good for my family as well. Any questions? Anything that resonated, anything that touched home? Don't be guys, I'm just like you guys, man. You ask me any question, just don't embarrass me with I get questions like what gang I was. Like, what the hell does that matter, right? So I want questions that really have lead up that ball, and maybe in an experience that you're already having, or in something that you may want to do in the future based on the conversation that we have right now. Yeah.
When you went to college, what was your first mind? What was in your mind that you wanted to learn?
So that's a very good question. So I remember I told you I didn't know at age 19 how to get to college, right? Nobody took me there. I didn't know who do I call, whatever. What college do I go to? I don't know about no colleges. We did not have what you guys have now. When I got out, I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to go to Roosevelt University because Roosevelt University was doing classes in prison. And that really resonated. I'm like, wow, a university's in here doing classes. I couldn't go because I didn't have the credits, so I had to wait till I got out. I jumped on the train and went directly to Roosevelt University and said, I want to apply for college. At the age of 31, 32 years old. Never having a driver's license, never owning a car before, and we started talking to the advisor, right? So at my age, 31, I need to do something that, first of all, I was going through the fast track because I needed something fast, right? Because I cannot take my usual 4 years. I'm an adult. I need to work. I need to fend for my family. So I need to do something fast. So I go into the fast track. Okay, so what do you have on the fast track? And it just so happened that a lot of the classes that I took in prison were geared towards sociology, psychology, and social justice. So I went for a bachelor's in psychology. That's how I made that decision. That took me 2003 to 2005, about 2 years, 2.5 years. And then I'm like, now what? I got my bachelor's. Now what? What do I do now? Well, you know what? I'm going for my master's because I have that background that's going to continue to hurt me. And there's more and more people out there getting bachelor's degree than there ever was before. So I got to fight against all of them for a job? Oh, hell no. I got to put more content on myself. So let me go for my master's. But in what? I need something fast, right? I need to get it and go. I don't need to be staying here 4 more years or whatever. So I got into this master fast track for training and development. And the reason why I chose training and development out of everything that I had, because I had hospitality and human resources, but I thought training and development touches both the corporate world and the nonprofit world as it deals with understanding and evaluating job environments, building job descriptions, evaluating staff, evaluating the company and how it operates. And I can do that both in the nonprofit and the for-profit company. And although I knew working for a for-profit is gonna be like very difficult because a lot of for-profits, companies, corporations do not hire people with backgrounds. They have it in their application. Are you willing to subject yourself to a background check? When they tell you that, that means they're gonna check your background. That means that probably not gonna get the job. It doesn't deter me, but that's why I've stayed in the nonprofit sector because even though they do it there too, there's more flexibility there than there is in a corporate level. Good question. Anybody else? Yes.
Did you want to give up a lot for that?
You know, I think that we all, at one point or another, may feel defeated, but when I feel myself feeling like that, I change my train of thought immediately and say, I can't give up. Because myself and my family is at stake here. So I have to continue to fight. So even for those jobs that have been denied, I've been giving them and then they've taken them when they found out I had a background. I just gotta keep going. I don't have a choice, right? I'm not gonna be homeless. I'm not gonna be on the streets. I need a job. I have a son, 2 sons to take care of. So I gotta fight, you know? And I do hobbies, right? So I play the congas a lot. I do poetry. I do song painting. I love the outdoors. So I try to really inhale life and everything beautiful that it brings to combat those negative feelings you may have from time to time because things are not working like you expect. Oh, and never have expectations. When you have expectations, you get your heart broken, you get hurt. Do not expect anything from anybody. Nothing from anybody. Do not expect. Everything you do it because you want to, without wanting something in return. Because life is energy. And if you send out positive energy comes to you. When I was hanging with the guys, all negative energy, I kept getting in trouble because that negative energy kept coming back to us. But now living in the environment that I live, nothing but beautiful things happen in my life. Anything else? Yes. Yeah, so poetry and my family, communication with my family helped me work through those emotions, right? So I was hurtful against my family because I felt I was being, I felt that they could have done more for me. I was hurt at the system because I felt I was treated differently. Not that I did not deserve any time, but that was too much time for my participation of just being there, right? But my father was a very important piece because he second grade, barely can write, But he communicated with me for the whole time I was there, and he was my source of inspiration and my strength to know that I do have a father there, and doing all this poetry and drawing, and then getting involved in jobs, right? I worked in the kitchen, I worked in the laundry room, I worked in the library. I was even a bilingual reporter with the newspaper Pontiac Pen, which is a newspaper for the prison. So I was doing articles in Spanish for them. So just keeping busy, just, thinking of the positive things around me, and really gravitating to that, and walking away from anything that's negative, both mentally and emotionally. This is so powerful right here. Once you understand that, you're gonna be like, wow. Half the people that piss you off are not gonna piss you off. You're gonna feel sorry for them. Anything else? Well, I want to thank you for that.